ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we're a little bit late. And the reason we're late, I have a good excuse, Task. I have a good excuse. I was dodging guys running red lights in intersections in Edmonton, Alberta. But I didn't dodge him fully. So that's why we're late. I hate making excuses, but in a nutshell, I had to sit around and fill out police reports because of people's awesome drivabilities here.
Well,
I'm not
being in Edmonton, Alberta is punishment enough.
dude, I don't even know what this is in Fahrenheit. I'm pretty sure it's this cold. Fahrenheit and Celsius is the same, but it's minus 27 right now.
I don't know what the fuck that means. Everything's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah. Anyways, how you doing, man? How you excited? You fired up, or what's going on?
Dude, man. Well, are you talking in life in general?
Life in general, yeah. Before we even get into anything,
life, so I mean, talk about high because that's my life.
Yeah.
I did have pancakes today, banana pancakes. They were good.
Yeah, I like bananas and pancakes. It's good. It's a good mix. It's a good mix.
Best pancakes are banana pancakes. Although chocolate chip pancakes are tough to beat.
No, I was a blueberry guy myself.
Blueberry pancakes are good. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got like 4 articles in the mornings, or articles for the next 4 days. I mean, everything, just the floodgates opened today. Or last night to today. I mean, Dan put out a video about Ragnarok. So Leo Threads was filled with Ragnarok videos because that's progressing ahead. There's a Hive shop that opened up. There's another game that is going to be tied to Hive. And then, of course, there was CTPX that was released. I mean, it's just the development's coming hot and heavy, and a lot of stuff going on. So it's kind of an exciting time. And, you can spend your HBD on a Hive hoodie now.
Very nice. I might buy a Hive hoodie.
Hoodie like you're wearing, black with the Hive logo, 38 HBD.
Really?
I have to check in. I don't know where they ship to or anything like that, but there is now a Hive shop that is live.
Pretty cool. I'll have to, dude. I'm literally I got out of the police station, and just came home. Well, no, that's a lie. After Tim Hortons, to get a coffee, of course. But yeah,
then you stopped at the liquor store across the street to get some vodka.
Dude, I feel like I need it after tonight, man. What a gong show. Oh man, like people don't run red lights, please. It's bad for your cars and my car. So anyways, yeah, I was keeping up to date on things because I'm sitting waiting to do the police report, and I'm seeing all these updates, Ragnarok this, Ragnarok that. I'm like, man, I gotta get home because I want to get up to date. But I don't even need to read stuff. I'll just ask you, man. What's the news with Ragnarok? Because obviously you got your pulse.
Well,
you got your pulse.
Dan did a video going through his screen, and evidently they're making a lot of progress. And I guess it's the first time most people have seen it. First time I've seen it, obviously. And I mean, I'm not really going to pay much attention. Although I should, it's just too complex for my pea brain. But he showed a screenshot, and then he talked about some contests he's going to put together, talked about the bugs. They're basically debugged to the point now where they just need a lot of people putting it through the motions, because the bugs that he was saying that are there are like 3 moves that you make, and then all of a sudden it's your card or your power against this power, and there's a bug there. And there's no way to find that in the code or anything. So he put together a pretty, it was like a 38-minute video, and it got people very excited. So this is going to be one of the games that attracts a lot of attention. And he also mentioned, which I had known because he mentioned it on the CTT broadcast a while back, but he mentioned the NFTs. He's already working with another I'll say project team. That may be the wrong phrase, but there's also another game that's being developed that's going to incorporate the same NFTs into it. So, that's really where things are going. You're going to get your decks, you're going to get your cards, you're going to get your NFTs, and they'll be available, useful in multiple games, which means they should have more value.
Very nice. Very nice.
CyberX is doing the same thing. And I'm still trying to get Bob the Builder to arrange a time, but
are they building on Hive or are they just doing the tokenomics on Hive? Like, do you know how that's working?
Well, the game itself doesn't operate on Hive, but the part of what they're building, I think they're building a DEX that's going to tie into Hive. And again, this is something where I want to get Bob the Builder on. He can explain it. But there's like 4 pieces going on: CyberX, an exchange, a DEX, and a couple other pieces. So there's a lot of things that they're kind of looking at incorporating, a couple games and whatnot. So, I think a lot of it, like this other one that I found, a lot of it's using the Hive login. So this is giving value to just a Hive account. It's kind of like CTPX. You can log in using your Hive account. And if you obviously want to be rewarded, through the
He freeze or I freeze? He froze. I think task froze. We are going to reset, I think. You guys hear me? Anyone on Vim or watching on YouTube? You guys hear me? Am I coming in or did Task freeze? Task got 1 red bar, so I think that might be him. Yes, it was. Let's see. He's back. Full greens now. You're good. Yeah, you had 1 red there for a second. I was like, so hello, Blaine. Welcome.
Yeah. So I actually won the raffle once today.
You did, dude. We saw that.
Yes,
we saw that. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I mean, it's just these are the outlets that we're starting to see as people start to incorporate Hive accounts in. And, if you want to participate, even in something like CTPX, which is not, like you said, it's not on the Hive blockchain. Right. But it kind of is, because your CTP, I mean, you're building your tokenomics for CTP, obviously, with the buyback and that, and then you have to use a Hive account to log in. And of course, now it's another outlet to add yours and other people's Hive content in addition to other content, but Hive content, which actually I should say just your CTP content, because no other front end seemed to work. I tried
Leo works. Leo Threads works. Threads works. Alpha. Threads. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got to find.
Yeah, a lot of the outposts. I think I told you outhouse. That's what these front ends should be called. The way the Hive engine has built these things. Oh man, they're awful, but they work. They actually work on CTPX, but CTP Talk works. It's cool, man. I mean, we did 4 transactions so far with HBD, recurring subscriptions on with HBD. So to me, like, people are still in love with I'm not even going to name the company, but they're still in love with that. And we've been trying, obviously, for 5 years to push people to crypto. I mean, that's the whole CTP brand, the CTP company, Blaine, myself, Eliana. That's our mission. Our mission is to get more people using crypto if you're in on business. That's it. So it's good to see. It's good to see people using HBD. And actually, I think a few of them were actually CTP members that came to Hive that are using HBD. So it wasn't just Hive people using HBD. So that's awesome. I love seeing it. And that's the goal. The end goal with this is to get more and more people using this stuff, right?
Yeah, and HBD, let's be honest, a year and a half ago, this was not a viable option that
Right.
the blockchain had. I mean, it did, but it didn't. And now with all the work that's been done with HBD, the applications and the teams that are building that are integrating it, I think are finding some wonderful things. And the recurrent payment, which went in I guess 2 hard forks ago,
Right. So, yeah. Yeah.
um, that's even we heard from Elmer. That's even getting another upgrade because Howoo's doing something with that. I guess there was problems with something that Elmer was trying to do, and he talked to Howoo, and so Howoo's adding or fixing or amending or whatever. So there's just a lot of stuff going on, and much like with listeners, much like with Leo Threads, now you have the opportunity to take Hive based content. And if you look in my website list, about half of them are my things, but I grabbed somebody else's stuff. I was going through his page and just I grabbed 3 or 4 uh articles that he did, and I
Right.
just put them in the rotation. So um these are the things that are going, and I am going to write an article about this. But Hive's quickly turned into a place where you get paid to just press buttons. I mean, that's all you do, press buttons, and hit the next button on views, hit the next, hit the next, hit the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
Send something to Leo Threads. Oh well, you get you know 2 cents for hitting the thread button in views, and it putting in 3 words and hit
Right.
submit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's not that difficult. And I think that's where all this building is going to lead. Is anybody who's new who shows up, it's like John, remember when we had Steam
Steam and
and
SBD.
SBD, and nobody cared about SBD because it ranged from like 60 cents to $3.40.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And now it's like, I went through Tribal Dex selling some tokens today and to get, just to dump them into Swap Hive. It wasn't
Yeah.
much. I got like 4, 5, 6 hives, something like that. Just cleared some of the crap out. But I'm saying, okay, if Hive gets to like $5, this is like $30 or
Yeah.
$35
Yeah.
for just
Yeah.
stuff that's sitting around, and I don't even know what it is. And that's just a cool thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I mean, again, this is why we're building here. Why we want to bring more people from outside of Hive to Hive, and because it's such an entrepreneurial friendly blockchain. And even listen, maybe you don't have an online business. Maybe you're not a content creator. Maybe you're not Mr. or Mrs. Photographer or videographer. Just like you said, you can press a couple buttons and get paid here. Like you literally can press a couple of buttons and start earning crypto. And it might be 10 cents, might be 25 cents, might be 50 cents. But just like you said, every hive is worth 48 cents right now, give or take, right? Whatever it is, whatever. That might be, if you believe in Hive, like Task and I do, that might be a $5 token, a 10 token. So you got to think of it like that. It might only be worth my post right now 25 cents, but what happens if it 10x now it's worth 250? So it's really important for people to keep pressing buttons out there. Keep pressing buttons for the love of everything that's good.
Yeah. Well, as we talked about on Tuesday, John, the excuse that, well, I'm not a gamer and I don't write 1,000-word blog posts is no longer relevant.
Right.
Because there are a lot of other options, which, again, if you press a button and you can write a handful of words, you can deal. And, whether you're talking CTPX, whether you're talking Leo Threads, whether you're talking views, all of these have capacities to be rewarded. Okay, views is right now not a direct reward for using the app. That'll come in at a later date. And I would imagine if anybody wants to be inquisitive or insightful, maybe look at CTPX, and that may give you some insight into some of the tokenomics that'll be applied to views. But, again, I mean, I won, I don't know, 120 CTP. Okay, right now that's worth like what, $1.20. But again, if CTP gets to 12 cents or to 10 cents, that's $12.
Yep.
For pressing a button, 140 times today, and just while I'm doing something, just let the thing load up and match it up, okay, and you earn. It doesn't take a genius. You can do this stuff watching TV. You can do this stuff, doing whatever, listening to a YouTube video or a 3Speak video. I was doing a lot of this stuff while I had Dan's video playing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's passive stuff, right? I mean, it's active, but it's passive effort. Let's put it that way, right?
You don't have to put a lot of attention to it.
Yeah, it's not a thinking man's game. Let's put it that way. Right?
No,
but this is again, and Blaine and I talked about this earlier today. Eliana is enjoying herself on vacation right now. So big shout out to Eliana, enjoying the warm weathers of Portugal. But Blaine and I were speaking about this morning. Like,
wait, what does she need a vacation for? She never does anything.
I know. Oh, I know. She didn't design the whole CTPX at all. Like, the whole front. It looks good though, right? Like the front. Like, can we say that logo and that front look really crisp and clean? Look, you can't even.
Pablo Picasso. What the hell do I know about that?
Dude, I'm a design freak. Like I'm obsessed.
You're a design freak. You also can't drive for shit.
Whatever. Dude, it wasn't my fault. I have two witnesses. I have two witnesses that it was not my fault. So, and this recording is going on the blockchain. So,
actually, the recording is not. The recording is at some centralized server.
Oh my gosh, why are you killing it for me, man? Yeah, I guess you're right. But
hey, John, how's the weather up there? Is it warm?
It's freezing. Why? Like it's like 1,000 degrees in this house, and I'm still wearing my sweater because it's so damn cold outside. Like
you need a hive. You need a hive hoodie,
dude. I do. I'm gonna. Well, that's the thing, and I love hearing that.
If they, I'll buy you a hive hoodie. It's like 38 HBD. I'll buy you a hive hoodie if they send it to Canada.
I appreciate it because I definitely.
I'll buy you a hive hoodie. That's my gift to you for the last 6 Christmases that I missed.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm. You know what's really cool about HBD, and we talk about this a lot when it comes to Venezuela and Nigeria and Cuba and all the countries that are growing in the blockchain. It really helps guys like me in Canada because I know Eric is watching on Vim and he's in Canada too. When you see something for $36, it's always in USD. So $36 USD is like $50 Canadian. I love that when you said 38 HBD, to me, there's no exchange rate there, man. That's 38 HBD to me. When you said that, I was like, 38 HBD? Beautiful. A couple of days of content creation, I'll have enough to go buy a hoodie. Like, that's what we always talk about Nigeria and Venezuela and Cuba and stuff like that because of the way that the currencies are. But even for folks like us in Canada, we're stuck with the USD exchange all the time. I love HBD. 38 HBD is 38 HBD. So
yeah. I mean, everybody has it outside of whoever uses USD. I mean, the Europeans have it with either the euro or if you're in the UK with the pound. Everybody gets it, and when the dollar skyrockets as it has, everybody gets crushed. Just Canada will tend to hold up better than the Bolivar or right. The Cuban peso or some of these others. But yeah, that's where I keep harping upon. The best part about HBD, and you don't really have a problem up there in Canada. I'm sure it's probably not a problem for you to go to certain places and get US banknotes, dollars.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult in Venezuela. It's very dangerous in Venezuela. I mean, somebody's not going to probably lop you over the head for $50. I mean, they're just
50,000.
Yeah, and if you're walking around with $50,000 I mean, they're not going to lop you off the head over $50 50 Canadian dollars either, or 100 Canadian dollars.
Right.
Venezuela, they might. And that's the problem with these countries, where because of the banking system, because of the exchange rate, HBD gets them access to US dollar as a unit of account. Now we know there's no dollars in this equation, but it is the unit of account, like you said. So when you're sitting there saying, okay, here's a purchase, if I said it was 38 USD, but you pay with HBD, well, that's 38 HBD. You don't give a crap what it is.
Yep, don't care.
Canadian, because you don't know how many HBD, what that equates to Canadian. I mean, you can figure it out, but you don't care, because it's like, what do I give a crap?
I'm worried about the state currency of my blockchain. That's all I'm worried about. That's all. I don't care. Let it be Canadian, US. I don't care. I'm worried about HBD.
Well, I mean, I did write an article this morning. You Canadians are showing us the path for HBD and the regulations and how algorithmic stable coins.
What did Justin do now, man? What did he do now?
No, it wasn't him. It was shit. I can never remember the name of the regulatory body that you got up there. But obviously they're part of the Canadian government, and I guess if it's like the Americans, these departments are under the domain of Justin.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe you guys are set up where they answer to Parliament, but here all these departments answer to the White House, so they're all under Biden. But basically, they put out preliminary regulations that basically say reserve-based stable coins will be okay as long as they can be audited every 2 months or something like that. Mm-hmm. Algorithmic stable coins are not, unless they apply for like an exemption, which one could be given, but then you got to be asset-based by some fiat-based asset, which then you're not an algorithmic stable coin anyway. And they said, well, we don't expect to give any of those exemptions. They didn't use the word exemption, but that's basically what they were saying. And they said, well, we don't expect to give any of them anyway. Well, of course you don't, because who the fuck's going to back an algorithmic stable coin by a fiat currency-based asset? Then you're not an algorithmic stable coin. So, Canadian exchanges will not be able to hold HBD or use HBD, and that's going to be the path the West goes forward. So it'll be the same thing in the US. I expect it to happen in the EU. It's going to happen all over, which is fine. We got our own internal exchange. You swap HBD for Hive, then you move your Hive, and if they get pissy about Hive and say, well, that's used to back that stable coin, you can't have that on your exchange, fuck it, we'll set up pools to swap to Bitcoin, then go right in and move the Bitcoin onto the exchange or Litecoin or whatever. So
we're smarter than you. Haha. No?
Well, I mean, it's just it gets to the point where, see, the US dollar, one of the biggest advantages to the US dollar is it's what's called the vehicle currency. And so a vehicle currency is, okay, you're in Canada with the Canadian dollar. Let's say Dan's in Mexico. And let's say you have to let's say Dan's a supplier of yours, and you have to send him $50,000 US dollar equivalent to Dan. Well, you don't have any Mexican pesos. He doesn't want Canadian dollars. So you go to your bank and you say, okay, here's this bank in Mexico. I got to get 50 grand USD to this guy. And so the bank takes whatever Canadian out of your account. Right. Well, the bank's not going to they're not going to go do all this swapping. So what they're not going to send the Mexican bank peso. So what they do is they just piggyback off the dollar. And so they send the bank in Mexico US dollars. And that's the vehicle currency. And then the bank in Mexico flips the dollars for pesos, because that's where you're going to get the best exchange rate. You're not going to get the best exchange rate from Canadian dollar to peso. And so that may end up being what some of these larger coins end up being, is if the exchanges, and probably it'll be Bitcoin, because they can't really touch it, that in my estimation. They may go after, I mean, the SEC is already looking at Ethereum, so that may get whacked. Um, but Bitcoin, they can't touch. So that may be a vehicle currency we use when the few times we decide to get out of, let's say, Hive or HBD, and we need fiat currency. That's how you can do it, and you'll have to do it through liquidity pools or Dexis or whatever the case may be. But if we become big enough, that's ultimately what will happen. And listen to CTT, the Speak Network guys. I mean, they're looking at wrapping all these different tokens onto what they're creating. So then it'll be a very simple swap.
Love it. This is the CryptoManiacs podcast. So I guess we should talk about something other than Hive for 20 seconds, and then we'll get back to Hive. Big news out of Coinbase. They're doing some layer 2 thing. They're creating something. It's just built on Ethereum, though, which I thought was hilarious, right? Like they're building a layer 2 token. I didn't even know they had a layer 1 token, but I guess it's Ethereum. And Base, it's called. Like Freebase. Like I think that when I hear Base, that's what I think. Freebase. Like basically they're catering to all the Ethereum addicts out there. Do you know anything more about this?
Well, I read their article. It's an open source platform that, again, I mean, Ethereum, it doesn't surprise me they're going to Ethereum. Ethereum's going to be a banker chain. And Coinbase, by the way, make no mistake, Coinbase will end up under, well, they already are under many of the banking regulations, but Circle, Coinbase, Tether Foundation, any of these that survive are going to be under FINRA. They're going to be under the banking regulations. They're going to be no different than Bank of America or any of the other. They're going to be regulated. And so Coinbase doing something like this on Ethereum doesn't surprise me. Now, they're not bringing out a token, but what they're doing is that's where they're going to do all of their stuff. It's basically, from what I could understand, it's basically a centralized layer 2 that they run, and other applications and other projects can build on it. But Coinbase is going to run it. And, this is what They Call Me Dan said about Lightning Network. Without the incentivization, who's going to be your major Lightning node operator? It's going to be JP Morgan. It's going to be Chase. It's going to be somebody who has an incentive to spend all the money to do all those transactions and have all that BTC in that node, and not be incentivized directly. So what do? They go data mining or whatever they do. I mean, that's how it's going to end up. So, it's pretty clear where a lot of this shit's going.
That was Ethereum Minute with Django and Task. Now back to Hive, because I'm starting to throw up a little bit in my mouth thinking about Ethereum and gas fees and MetaMask and all of the big decentralized. I'm using, for all of you listening on the podcast, I'm putting bunny ears up in quotes, decentralized blockchains. Anyways, back to Hive. What else is going on in Hive? Fun things all around. We did. So, we're still building. I don't know if you saw that post yesterday. I made the start of that post specifically for you. Did you read that?
No, I didn't. I was so busy yesterday. I didn't actually read the last.
I'm paraphrasing here. I literally said, "This is not views."
Oh yeah, I did see that. I skimmed the post and
I did that for you, man.
I was like, thought the fact that there was a show, so I knew I wouldn't be able to see it live last night. So I made sure this morning I searched out the show. And thank you for putting it under John G. Olson.
I screwed up. It was actually, and Blaine's gonna laugh because as soon as so with 3Speak, as you know, if you're switching accounts, you actually have to do it twice.
Yes.
So you log in, you switch it. So I logged in and switched it to CTP Talk. I write my post, I upload the video. I'm not even thinking to do it the second time. I press post. As soon as I press submit, I'm like, and I start smashing keys. And Blaine's like, what? Did CTPX break? I'm like, nah, man, I posted it on my account instead of the CTP. That's technically supposed to be on the CTP Talk account.
Well, see, I'm glad you put it on your account because I can find it. You guys got so many damn accounts. I'll go looking for the shit I can't find.
The only two that we post on is this one that's on live stream right now, CTP Talk, and then my one, right?
Well, you're on my feed. Your CTP Talk isn't, unless you reblog it.
Well, you wouldn't see a lot of the CTP Talk stuff because you're literally live when the CTP Talk one is posted. Because it's usually what it is the live stream. That's what we post on CTP Talk. But if there's official posts, we put it on the CTP Talk account. Official, quote unquote, bunny ears. But anyways,
be sure to reblog it so I can find it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will definitely reblog.
No, but your mistake made it very easy for me to find. So this morning when I got up, it's like, okay, there it is, good. And so I was able to watch the show on replay, obviously, or and get some of the P's and Q's as to what was going on. And
it's designed, and I really wanted, especially because a lot of people are going to be watching this on Hive, and a lot of people that are joining from Hive are just scratching their head going, what the hell is this? This is really not designed for Hive. Hive, you can use it if you're a Hive member. Obviously, you can post on CTP Talks front end. You can post on like to post show on there. Threads, if you want to post a thread, it shows on there. But generally, this is designed to bring people to Hive. So the affiliate marketers, the online business people, this is a promotion marketing tool, bunny ears again. And the whole purpose of this is that once they get in and they use the features they're familiar with, the next step, if they want to start winning some crypto, is they got to get a Hive account. And then they start dipping into Hive. They start getting an account. They start learning about keys. They start winning some CTP. And then they start logging into the Hive engine. And the entire purpose of this is to bring people slowly but surely from the online marketing world into a Hive environment, and then eventually get them to start using this day to day. This is when we started the CTP token. This was one of the projects we wanted to put on. Like, we wanted to put a CTP token inside of a program like CTPX. So this has been a long time coming. I used to own a lot of these programs.
How if I can ask,
yeah.
I think this is called what's this called? Like a link exchange?
Well, we're calling it content discovery platforms going forward. But yes, it used to be called traffic exchanges.
Traffic exchanges. What is how does this differ, what you guys created, from the traditional? What if I went to a traffic exchange site today? How is this different?
Well, most traffic exchanges nowadays are god awful. Like, they look like they were designed in 1999.
They probably were.
They probably were. They're awful experiences. They're just very clunky, very web 1.0, not even 2.0. And then when they start putting elements of web 2.0, like social media chats and stuff like that, it gets really just a complete disaster. So the big thing for this is we wanted a clean, very clean experience. We wanted the focus of the site not to be the explore bar, which most of these traffic exchanges have. We wanted to be the content. So when you start ones like this, see, the benefit of views is that views you can tap right into the blockchain. So you're never going to run out of content, ever. Like, and especially if you go to the Genesis block, like, take your pick, tens of thousands of posts. You'll always have content. And the machine learning and views, the more you use it, the more it's going to pump content that you enjoy in your feed. CTPX, the traditional traffic exchange, doesn't do that because there's not enough members content in it. Once it gets big, once you get thousands and thousands of members using this, then you can start segmenting, then you can start putting categories in, then you can start putting, the machine learning stuff that we were doing with views, just like StumbleUpon. StumbleUpon technically was a traffic exchange back when it was launched. But so we're trying to rebrand it. We're trying to get away from that trafficking. We want people to explore content, discover content. We want people to put their blogs up there. We want not just your traditional get $1 million overnight pages. We want to broaden the horizon. And we think we can achieve that by having a clean interface, a really easy to use system, but also to reward people not a guarantee of rewards, but the carrot stick of rewards to keep discovering content, because you're gonna, the more you discover content, the more chances you have to be rewarded in CTP tokens. Which again, CTP is on the market. We take a percentage of everything we earn from people buying upgrades, buying advertising. We take a chunk of that and we buy CTP off the market, and then we put it either 50% into the prize pool or 50% staked, where we're earning more and more CTP. So,
well, and that's the key thing, is to get that buy demand through revenue, and
right.
and that's what I think you guys are doing. That's what Leo is looking at doing with their ad revenue. I mean, that's the important thing. Question for you.
Yes.
When I go to my websites, and I got the website, then I got all the stats and the comments and all that inactive. What's this balance mean? And I got 0.88, 0.26, what does that mean?
Okay, so the way traffic exchanges used to work, I look at your website, you look at mine, right? And the way that you got people to look at your website was credits. So if you earned a credit, that credit was exchanged for traffic. So the more credits you had, the more traffic you would get. So if you use the site more, you'd earn more credits. The credits are then swapped for traffic to your website. Again, trying to get away from all the branding of TEs and traffic exchanges. It's basically explore tokens. So you're earning explore tokens, and your balance will be how many tokens are assigned to that website to get traffic to it. That's all it is.
So I have no control over that.
You can pause it. You can assign it to a different site, but right now it's auto assigned to your websites. So it's you can totally, decide where it goes. But there's no point. Explore tokens are not like a cryptocurrency. It's not like they're
I figured that. I knew it was like a site token that you guys are using just to quantify stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
It's like the mail tokens on listeners, right?
Yeah,
mail tokens.
It's an in-house token that you utilize that's non-tradable.
Yeah.
It's like resource credits. Resource credits are, but they're not tradable. You can't swap them for anything.
Exactly. Yep. That's all it is. So, yeah.
So now, what do you think is going to bring in more users from the outside, CTPX or views?
Well, right now, without new change, views down the road, I'm sure of it. Because it opens up to every market, not just a market. This is a marketing tool for marketers. But that being said, I think short term, CTPX will have a lot more users and a lot more people using it short term than Views does. And obviously, until Views gets on the framework and we get the tokenization, all of that in play, CTPX will have the short term boost. Long term, Views is going to have a bigger impact, I believe. But the models, I've always said this, that this exchange model is the perfect model. It was just not done right, and it was like 20 years too early. Because search engines, in my opinion, don't work as well as they used to. I want content that I really like, that I'm enjoying, and that's why we think this type of stuff is going to be, the future of marketing and promotion online. Like, people discovering content because they want to, not because they feel they have to. And I think that's a mindset change for people.
Now, you said the machine learning engine eventually will be put into CTPX, similar to what you have on Views. Did I understand?
Obviously, I'm not going to speak for Blaine, and Blaine's probably, if he's watching still, he's just shaking his head. But I can't guarantee it, just because when you try to do the machine learning, you got to get into that's how StumbleUpon did it, right? It was all categories, right? You'd have to
categories, and you got to give feedback.
You got to give feedback. So if you remember StumbleUpon, you used to like or dislike things. People would pick the categories that those sites were in. So if you said that this was about cats, but it was a picture of a horse, it never was liked or stumbled. So it started knowing that, okay, this is content that fits in this category. And if people put it into this category, the more people that like it, the more it makes sense. So I'd love to put it in, but it needs members. It needs big members, lots of members surfing. So the more sites they put into rotation, the more you get to essentially see this stuff all the time. So the more sites there is, it's not just seeing the same site over and over and over again. You got, brand new stuff constantly. So yeah.
Now, is there a limit to what I can load based upon my membership level, or could I just keep throwing stuff up there all day?
Go nuts. No limit.
I could be putting link after link. Now, what about external links? If I go to ABC News, or if I go to, John's fishing blogspot or whatever.
Yep. If it loads in our site checker, you can put it in there. So whatever you want to put in there, if you want to put Tim Hortons, the website for Tim Hortons, go ahead. Whatever you want.
If Blaine's listening, I don't know if he's still on. What would not be included? What would prevent stuff from being in there? He wrote it's a course policy issue. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, I can't even forget. That was like 20 minutes.
I don't even know what he was talking about. I think that was in relation to Leo Finance or something.
There's a list of things. The site has to be able to be loaded in iframes, which is a problem for that's why PeakD doesn't load, HiveBlog doesn't load, EastNC doesn't load. But me and Blaine were talking about it last night. We're looking at ways to get around it. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're looking at it. So the big thing is it's got to load in an iframe. It can't be obviously it won't get through if it's got like malware on it. Blaine's got this amazing checker that he built for it. Hate sites, adult sites, the whole nine. There you go. Blaine just put it in there. Malicious content, not safe for work, anything that won't be in a frame currently. There's a list of things, but it's to keep safe, right?
Well, and also, I mean, most people aren't going to put up ABC News. Most people are going to put up their WordPress blog or their Blogspot blog or their own personal blog or their own, affiliate site page or whatever it is.
Yep. And that's what we encourage, but we also want to see other stuff, not just advertising sites. Because if you go to any other traffic exchange out there, all you see is
it's just spam.
It's crap. It's absolute crap. And it's why this is, again, history of Django. I was literally called the traffic exchange guy for over a decade. I was the go-to expert in these things. I have the only book ever published about traffic exchanges on Amazon. I did talks about traffic exchanges. I did consulting work for people that were starting traffic exchanges. The reasons I haven't been involved for the past 5 years other than finding Hive was Blaine and I were sick of what was being promoted in them, how it was being promoted, the content inside these things. Again, I think the model is fantastic. I think it's great, especially if you put some machine learning in there, you put some incentivization for people to actually use it. They want to use it more, but the content has got to be good. And if you're constantly feeding people with these, just like you said, spam messages, what are people going to do? They're not even going to pay attention. It's going to be a waste of time. And this is what's happened for the past 5 years in this industry, was that it just turned into a crap fest.
And it's not even good spam messages. It's like make $86,000 in the next 42 and a half minutes.
Right. Yeah. Well, you saw a good ad. Usually it's make 87,000 in like 20 seconds. That's usually what it is. Like, it's stupidity, man. It's dumb. But for whatever reason, people think that they can promote that stuff and make money online, which is what we're trying to curb. We're trying to get people to be like, listen, this is cool, but it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. Let's build it the right way. Let's go and engage with people. Hey, there's a really cool thing called Hive where it's a blockchain that you're rewarded for engaging. Let's go meet people. Let's talk to people. Let's build our relationships and networks that way, so that the next time someone has something that they want to recommend, people will take a look instead of putting it in people's face constantly. Buy. Like, we don't have that. Inside of CTPX, people actually can decide what they want when they want it. There's no time limit. We're not forcing you to go buy anything. They can actually pick and choose the features they want. And if they feel like spending money, they can. If they feel like spending crypto, they can. Doesn't matter though. It doesn't affect your account other than you'll get better features. You'll get a shorter timer, for example. You can get more banners. You can get explore tokens. But it's a pick and choose. You get to choose what you want. It's not just buy this now, and if you don't buy it, you're just a sap. And we want people to willingly purchase things, not being forced into it. So,
well, and it, like you said, the lesson was on listeners, and even with this, what was put up, I guess, was put up last night.
mm-hmm.
I mean, instantly you can tell who are the CTPers and who are the CTPers who are on Hive.
Yep.
The CTPers, it's the same bullshit pages, and the people on Hive, it's like, okay, here's my CTP, profile page. Here's my last 3 articles or whatever, and it's like, you can tell who's embraced Hive and who hasn't, and I mean, it's fine if at some point people are going to have to realize that those affiliate marketing, I think you guys are changing affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is dead. In fact, I see you with the referrals. I wish you guys would dump that, because it looks to me, everything was trying to get people to the point to buy the product. Now, when you start to look at all this stuff, whether it's listeners, now you look at CTPX. Okay, it's kind of a lottery system, but it's still tied to your activity. Eventually, views. You look at Leo threads. You look at writing articles on Hive, whether it's CTP Talk, Leo Finance, PT, whatever. Whether it's CTP, Leo, Hive, HBD, whatever you get rewarded. It gets to the point where the money is made in the marketing activity. You don't even need to sell anything. It doesn't freaking matter. Well, I haven't sold shit in 5 years on Hive. Nothing. Yeah. I haven't sold one thing. I haven't been paid one dime in subscriptions or money in that regard. It's just amazing. But you can go and you send out your emails and listeners. Now you do your stuff on CTPX. You do a little bit of stuff on Leo Threads. You just bounce around, and it's like, I mean, we'll have to get Jimmy Adamas on in a month or two after he plays around with this shit for a while. Yeah. Let's see what Jimmy does. I mean, Jimmy's not going to sleep. I told him he's got to do 50 Leo threads a day, and he's like, I'm for more than that. And it's like, okay, now he's going to do this, and how many is he going to put up on here? That's changing the entire model, in my opinion. From the old, here's a referral program, so here's a page that all our affiliate use, and so we'll give you a little bit of this if they ultimately buy our product. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Just write an article and send it out on listeners, send it out on Leo threads, earn a little here or a little there. I mean, I call it micro earning. You just go around, run around. Metzley, she commented on a thread the other day, and she's like, yeah, this is great. I do this, and this. And it's like, it's like faucets. You get stuff coming all over the place.
Yep, that's and again, it kind of, and this is kind of, we want to go slow and steady with people, because like I said, I don't think that everyone's going to be a great content creator. I don't think everyone is going to be a great entrepreneur. That doesn't mean that they can't really enjoy networking with people, talking to people, engaging with people, commenting on things. There's loads of people on Hive that don't sit there and write War and Peace every day, but you know what? They're in comments, they're talking, they're engaging with people. And that's what the faucet, quote unquote, does. It maybe you're not going to refer 100 people to the brand new affiliate program, but you know what? You can check something out 5 seconds. You can engage with someone on threads. You can check a few pages on CTPX. You can send some emails on listeners. You can upvote stuff and earn some credits. I mean, to me, that doesn't force people into, you need to be an absolute genius marketer. You can just be yourself and do okay.
Well, shit, I don't have to create content. I can go to John G. Olson and CTP Talk and take your articles and put those websites in CTPX.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can multiple people upload the same page?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. If you really want to put CNN up, you can put CNN up.
No. I mean, let's say
I know. Yeah. No, I'm joking. Yes. People can promote like.
So I can take your latest article, put it up. You could take your latest article and put it up. And
sure.
And it just goes through the rotation.
That's it. Yep.
Now, I do not see my own articles, do I?
No, you won't see the sites that you've added. That's by design. Because every time you're using the explore feature, you're earning explore and spending explore when someone sees your site. So if someone starts seeing your site, you start seeing your own site, you're going to be using your credits to see your own site. And that just doesn't make sense, right?
So the more I press the button, the more I spend. Is that what you're saying?
Of explore, but you can't trade explore. You can't sell explore.
No, I understand that. Yeah. Now, how do I get explore?
You can buy it, you can earn it.
How do I earn it? From putting sites up?
From exploring. So the more sites you see, right now, for every 3 sites that you visit, you'll get 1 person visiting yours. So what we called that in the traffic exchanges was an exchange ratio or a surf ratio. So it's a 3-1 right now. But you can upgrade where you can get a 1-to-1. So for every 1 site you visit, 1 site gets back to you. 1 visitor goes back to you. So that's one of the features of upgrading. So a lot of people that upgrade might not necessarily want to surf for, say, 100 pages. They want to surf 50 pages. They want to surf 33 pages. Well, if they surf 33 pages, they're going to get the exact same amount of traffic that you would get if you're at a 3-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a freemium model, right?
Yep. I got you. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, but there's the benefits of being a free member is you can earn credit. You don't need anything out of pocket. You can earn you can win a prize with the hourly contest. You don't need to spend any money. You can refer people. It doesn't matter what you spend. You can be a free member and upgrade a member. You earn the same. So it's,
Well, and it's to the platform's advantage to have more people, even if they're free members, who keep putting up sites. The more websites there, the better.
Using it. Yep. That's the number one reason why traffic exchanges failed, or they were pretty much on life support. Not enough people were using them. In its heyday, you would get thousands of people surfing at any given moment, So then traffic was just flowing. So, you'd put up 100 credits to your website and they'd be gone like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what, we're hoping to get back with X. We're trying to get people to really use it and want to use it. Not just, I feel like I have to use it. Like, let's have a good experience here.
So what is needed to make this thing explode?
Members. That's it. Literally it. That is the currency that Blaine and I and Eliana are looking at right now. How many members that we get? That's what matters to us. We need more and more members. So traditional marketing, I'm going crazy. I'm going ham. Me and Blaine bought a bunch of advertising today around the internet, and we're putting into it. People surfing this thing to get using. The trickle-down effect, crossing fingers, is that they're all going to want to win some prizes. Well, how do you win prizes? You need a Hive account. So we've got 650 accounts now we can give out, give or take. So
I got like 1,200 if you need them.
Yeah, how you do it? We do it through Peak D, right? You give the active key to the account, and that's what I did with my account because I had 600 and something, 650 accounts. So Peak D makes it very simple. It's just you got to trust the account with your active key.
And I know a lot of it was just dead emails and dead names, but you said you had a mailing list of, I don't remember. maybe I'm wrong on my number, but like 250,000 or 20,000 or some big
Oh no,
number.
yeah, like total numbers over the years is probably 500,000. Right.
500,000,
Yeah.
which you know, reduce that by 90% because 90% of them are probably dead emails they don't check anymore. I mean, we all have had 45 email accounts. But I imagine if you are going after the traditional CTP person, CTPX is right in line with them.
Yes. Yes.
Views,
we don't
not
need to
listeners.
explain. Yeah. I don't need to explain to anyone on my mailing list what CTPX is.
Do you see a larger percentage of that mailing list using X and jumping on board immediately?
Oh yeah. That's my mission for the next probably 2 to 3 months is to pump people from our old lists, from our old membership sites into this. So, and we did. It was funny because I I posted it on Facebook and I posted and I looked at, we can see the people who joined, and it was all these names of people that we used to work with decade ago, and they're still there, and it's like they've been waiting for something like this. And we had massive activity when it was launched. People were just really excited about it. Our Discord was going crazy. I even did a little test thread. I put it into Leo Threads and I put it into rotation to get people to say, did you see this? Is it working? What do you think? It was great, man. It's exciting. So this is something I'm excited about, maybe because it's my history, it's in my DNA, and it's in Blaine's too. I mean, this is how I met Blaine was through these type of programs. So we'll do it differently. And this is the other thing. I'm not even, I hate doing this. Like, oh, even Elmer said it, like, oh, it's launched, but not really. We're working on things. And I hate doing that. But that's why it was so important just for this to launch. So as is, perfect working. But we have a game plan where we're going to try every week or every 2 weeks to add something amazing. And NFTs are coming to it. So I can say that. And everything is running around the CTP token. So like we said, 2 to 3 years ago when we started the CTP token, we've got plans. This is finally one of the big plans we had for it. So everyone that bought those miners and have been earning the CTP tokens for years, sorry it took so long, but we're good. Got tons of stuff coming. NFTs are going to be implemented in this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So,
well, I mean, anybody who expects a finished version on V1 is just an idiot. I mean, you have to run a roadmap, and most stuff goes out in MVP form of some shape. And, it's like Leo Threads. I mean, over the past, 9 days, 10 days now, whatever it's been. I mean, there's probably been 6 updates, and none of it's been earth shattering, but the 6 updates either fixed some bugs or turned on a few more features. And, that's called progress. And, it's like with this, well, there will be another update to X whenever, and that may add a few more features. It may fix some things. It'll change some things. It'll do whatever. And, that's where you just keep going from. But now let me ask you to bring it back to CryptoManiacs / Hive Maniacs.
Right.
How does this benefit Hive if you are extremely successful? Let's say you get this to be the number one traffic exchange content discovery, site out there.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is that the only way you can win is by getting a Hive account. The only way you take part in the hourly giveaways, not daily, not weekly, not monthly, the hourly giveaways, is by getting a Hive account. You have to link your Hive account to CTPX so that we can pay you CTP tokens. So they have to get a Hive account.
Is there, let me phrase it this way then. Are there other things on your roadmap that you see integrating into Hive in some way, shape, or form? Maybe it's even
dude.
You have to use your Hive account.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, I would love to get something like Threads integrated in there for a social chat where you can literally like have a chat while you're so it's like a community feel. That was a big thing in traffic exchanges was chats in the sidebars. You could see people talking while they're sitting there hanging out. I would love to do something like that. Obviously, we don't know if we can yet. We got to figure it out. But I approached Blaine with that, and he's like, well, we'd have to look at it and stuff. But things like that, like, how do we get people to do the site reviews that you can do on CPX? How do we incorporate that into Hive, where you're making a comment on people's, something like that? So it's lots of ways. I mean, it's just, yeah, we can. I approached John with it, not the other way. This guy's hilarious. This guy's so funny.
You know what the sad thing is, John? I was thinking about this earlier. When you're talking about the adult in the room, it's never all guys on cameras.
Blaine is
Blaine
definitely
is supposed to be the adult in the room, and look how he's behaving.
Yeah.
I was the one who approached you, not the other way around.
Well, no, he's definitely the brains of the operation. Like the best idea, I think, Blaine, I'm going to give you some props here, was that build your upgrade feature. Like, this is a first. This was never in any traffic exchanges, to my knowledge. Like, you basically had to be force fed this offer. You join now, you get the best deal. Buy it now, or else it's gone forever. Well, and then it gave you all these features that you could get. Well, Blaine created it where, first of all, there's no forcing of it, but you can pick and choose. You just need to pick 3 features, and there's a list of like 7 or 8 features that you can pick from. And the more you can basically custom make the account you want, the account that you want. Blaine came up with that. It was great. So there you go. I gave you your props, Blaine.
Yeah, I mean, what's cool is somebody can just, like Jimmy Adamas, can just go crazy with sweat equity. You can just press buttons all day long and go nuts with it.
Yep. Yeah, man.
And that's the cool thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of as we started there, last month, it's like on CryptoManiacs and with other stuff. And we're trying to get more people on the next couple of weeks. We got Jon Snow, who's in Venezuela, and maybe we'll have somebody from Sucre, internet, God's willing. And then we got a Nomad Soul. And then I'm shooting for Bob the Builder, who's heavily involved in CyberX. And, I mean, this Hive shop that I said that I talked about today, John, that's just somebody in Germany who made the site.
Did you post the link for that, or did you put it on Threads or something? Because I'm going to go check that.
I found it on Threads. I'll send you the link. I got it in my. Nice. It's an open tab, so I'll send it to you. But that's just the stuff that's going, and like you said, this is kind of like a lot of these games. It's like CTPX isn't a Hive thing. It's not a blockchain thing. It has nothing to do with it. But it does have features that you have to have a Hive account for. And I think that's something that I discussed this years ago. It's like, even if you got nothing in your Hive account, it's going to be worth money. Even if it has a zero balance, because there's so much you're going to be able to do with it that you need it for, that it gives you entry into all these different things. So, okay, CTP, it's a raffle. You may or may not win. But if you want to be part of it, you need a Hive account.
Yep.
What's that worth? Well, that's worth probably a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't want to spend for it. We'll give you one.
What's that?
I said, it's a couple bucks. Well, I don't want to pay for it. It's okay. We'll give you one.
I mean, it's not like you're charging somebody, but it's like, what's to play Ragnarok, you need a Hive account. To play CyberX, you're going to need a Hive account. To get into these different things, you're going to need a Hive account.
Yep.
It's the price of entry. So I think that's part of this baseline building of value that we have. And, I'm just glad to see, these other projects, and they're all under the CTP umbrella. Your projects, you got listeners, you got views, now you got CTPX. And anybody who doesn't believe that's not coming under a CTP token, like I say, it's value capture. CTP, think of it like I don't want to say the S word in case Gensler's listening, but it's reflective of the value of the ecosystem, of the platform. Now, Obviously, markets have their own mind, so the price is not always going to reflect value. But guess what? You got CTP talk, you got listeners, you have views, you have CTPX. What did you have a year ago?
CTP
You had
talk,
CTP
basically.
talk. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing with Leo, with Hive Stats and Leo Finance and Leo Threads and, Cub Finance and all these other things falling under these umbrellas. That's what people have to keep in mind. And that's where, for months we've been saying, John, build.
That's
Build.
it. Don't overthink it. Just build.
Well,
Right.
it's if you are somebody listening to this, and it's like, don't give me all this bullshit about this token and that token.
Mm-hmm.
Show me the builders.
Yeah.
Why did I not waffle on you and Blaine? Because I knew you were building.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listeners didn't go off as it was planned. Who gives a shit? Shut the fuck up. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was our first attempt. And like we tried and we it's not dead. I mean, the thing works flawlessly as is. It's just, we learned a lot. And that's why Views never got its own token. That's why CTPX was always just going to be CTP token.
Well, and it's under the same umbrella, and things will be revisited. Listeners still runs. It's not like it's a flawed program. It works exactly as it was designed. Views works exactly as it's designed. So, I mean, it's like, why is anybody worried? Oh, the token price, shut the hell up. Go jump off a building and do us all a service. I mean, really, it's like, what the hell? Do you think Amazon became the number one retailer like overnight? No, it takes a while to build shit. So I think it was a nice addition. Like you said, it's not blockchain, it's not crypto, it's not Hive, but it does tie in, and it's part of CTP's umbrella, which to me is captured in the token.
It's the trickle down effect. That's the side benefit. Like Blaine and I've been saying for years, our entire mission since day one was to bring people to the blockchain. And if this other tool that helps us bring people to the blockchain, and when I mean people, I mean our market, the marketing people, the online business people. So this is just another way. Get on board. So,
and maybe 1 out of 100 will be Jimmy, who the light goes off and say, you know what? It's the money's not made in the selling of the product. The money's made in being active in marketing and pushing it, promoting other people's stuff. You don't even have to create this stuff.
Yep. There's amazing people from CTP, like the people we've introduced to Hive. G. Adrian, I mean, he came over from when we started talking about it. He jumped onto Hive and went all in. Jimmy, there's the best start. I mean, there's so many amazing people in the CTP community. Not everyone is going to be Jimmy, but you know what? They're learning slowly. And down the road, man, we're just going to keep building, man. That's it. Just like you said, don't even pay attention to anything but building. That's what matters. So.
Because it's all that circular. If you can do that, and you and I have had these conversations, John, that circular economy, that positive feedback economy, where it just keeps feeding back on itself.
Yep, that's it.
You should do a giveaway for those who attend live. Okay, I'll give away John's hoodie that I promised him.
So Blaine is basically the only one in YouTube chat right now, so that's why he wants to get the giveaway.
He wants John's hoodie.
Yeah.
Well, Blaine, if the site doesn't allow it to be shipped to Canada, but does to the United States, I'll have to have it shipped to you, and then you can get it to John.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure that'll be his priority. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for coming, everyone. We appreciate you again. Sorry for the mishaps with the timing. I totally blame the gentleman that decided to run the red light right in front of me. That was exciting. So, guys, be good to each other. There you go. And Manfred is here too. Welcome. So there you go. Thank you. Perfect. So, there you go. So, guys, have a great week. Enjoy the X, enjoy Ragnarok, enjoy Threads, enjoy everything being built on blockchain. And we will see you guys on Tuesday. Toodles.
Ciao.